So starting this analysis by looking at the price action of Bitcoin here in a daily time frame, right now the price of Bitcoin clearly shows that it is actually following this descending channel type of scenario here in a daily time frame, because every time when we have tried to break here in upward direction, the upper line area of this descending channel acted as a strong resistance, right? You can see the lower line acted as a support. After getting rejection from the upper line area of the descending channel, we saw this price pullback type of scenario. This pullback ended exactly after reaching the bottom of the channel, right? And again we started consolidating, and when the price of Bitcoin tried to break here in upper direction again from the upper line area, we found a very strong resistance between this 40,000 to 41,000, and now we are seeing this price pullback scenario just like here after getting rejection from the upper line area. So what could be playing out next for Bitcoin, because this price movement is actually a lower highs lower lows continuation pattern. So we want at any cost this lower highs lower lows continuation pattern to break and turn something like in a higher highs higher lows. But to do that, what we have to do is to break the previous high structure. So that's why today I'm actually going to show you what exactly could be playing around this particular area for Bitcoin. So if we look at this again in a daily time frame, you can see here. So you can see guys, this is also in a daily time frame. The upper one scenario here is a rising wedge, and rising wedge is a bearish scenario. We are actually seeing this price pullback. We are aware of that. But if we would monitor the price movement around this particular area, guys, you can see here very clearly the price of Bitcoin, right, is right now forming this broadening bottom. And according to this broadening bottom, after this price pullback scenario, what we are witnessing, if the price of Bitcoin is not going to find support at the lower line area, because you can see this lower line here in a daily time frame has always acted as a strong support line. So that's why we are also witnessing this green candle which is holding this price above $31,000. And also to the upside, this upper line is acting as a strong resistance line. So now we are aware, if the price of Bitcoin is not going to find support, then we have to be careful, because this is clearly going to be a pull back here to the downside. But if we could find support just like here in the past Bitcoin price action, then right now what we are expecting is some sort of a relief rally to play out for Bitcoin. But in most of the cases, after this kind of downtrend what we are witnessing with Bitcoin, right, let me delete this one here and show you guys. You can clearly see one example from Chevron. This is just a broadening bottom example. So you can see when the price started heading to the downside, just like in our case right now what we are witnessing. And if you look at this example here, you can see this is also a pretty similar scenario what we are witnessing with price action of Bitcoin. But in most of the cases, this broadening bottom average gain to the upside is 27%. The average decline is 15%. So that's why the price break duration up is 53% and price break down is 47%. So this is actually indicating, hey, if we could find a proper support here, right, around this lower line area of this broadening bottom, then we could be actually expecting some impulsive move to play out for Bitcoin, because according to this here, price breakout duration is also up, and which is 53% compared to the downside. So that's why if the support is going to remain, guys, then we could be seeing some really nice impulsive move playing out for Bitcoin. But if this is going to fail, right, then we are aware it could be playing out like this here as shown in the example, because this example also is actually indicating pretty similar scenario with current Bitcoin price structure. So we have to be very careful, because if this trend here is going to continue to the downside, let me show you the price target here, right, from this swing high to the area where we started. So if this is going to continue to the downside, then we are aware we could be heading towards this 24,600, 24,700 price level here to the downside. And we are also aware, according to this CPR indicator, right, this CPI is a leading indicator which is already flashing us the price target to the downside if the trend is going to continue here. And this downward price target from the CPI line is also exactly around this 24,500, 24,600 area. So that's why, guys, that's why this scenario here must be taken into seriously, because if this support is not going to remain there, then we are aware that the price here could see a potential downward movement. But around this 31,000 to 30,000, we also have some strong support holding the price. This support is the last line of hope for Bitcoin, because if you have watched my video, we have talked about this BLX chart and also this logarithmic scale using the Fibonacci retracement label, because every time when we have seen since 2011, 2013, 2017, whenever the market has reached the top of the channel, this white line, only then the bull market actually ended. And right now, since the price still has a lot of space to grow here in upper duration, the bull market might not have ended, because every time since 2011 when we monitor this price movement, we always had this bounce, and after this bounce at this 1.618 we saw this impulsive move. Here in 2014, right, you can see bear market, a new move started, we had this price bounce, found support at this 1.618 just like here, and then started a new move here in upper duration, and now we are witnessing this pretty similar bounce. So that's why if this bullish trend wants to continue upper duration, then at any cost we are not allowed to break below this 1.618 Fibonacci retracement level, and this 1.618 is also around $30,000. So that's why this 30,000 here is one of the strongest support for Bitcoin. So if this is going to get broken, then I'm sure that we will be monitoring this downward price movement according to this broadening bottom here, right, which is actually pointing out that 24,000 could be on the line. So what we want at any cost right now is to hold this lower line area of this broadening bottom. And also, if you would want to look at this price movement in a bit different way, I mean in a smaller time frame, no problem, because we can monitor this price structure if this support here is going to hold the price or not, because you can see here. So now if we look at this in a 4-hour time frame, what we can do here is we can simply add this one price movement here. I have actually talked about this on my yesterday's video. You can see that this actually looks like a very nice descending broadening wedge type of scenario. So according to this descending broadening wedge, what we want the price of Bitcoin to do is to break this movement, this lower highs, lower lows price movement, right? Because we want at any cost the price here to make a higher highs, higher lows continuation pattern, because if that is going to happen, then we are going to start a new trend here in this manner. So that's why right now here in a smaller time frame also, we want the price of Bitcoin to break out of this upper line area of this descending broadening wedge, because right now the area where we are finding support, you can see this similar scenario is repeating again and again, and I also talked about this on my yesterday's video. And that's why right now, if the price of Bitcoin is going to fail to find support around this 31 to 30,000 price area, then this is going to pull the price lower towards the lower line area of this descending broadening wedge, because you can see very clearly the line here which previously acted as support, once the support got broken, we saw this price pullback, right? And this price pullback found support at the lower line area of this descending broadening wedge, and then a new move, the same line which previously acted as a support, acted as a resistance along with the upper line area of the descending broadening wedge. Again, we saw this pullback, consolidated, didn't let the price to break here in upper direction, because this here was a support line, and this same support line acted as a resistance and didn't let the price to break here in upper direction. This similar scenario is unfolding again and again. You can see the area where we found previously support acted as a resistance, again a pullback. Same scenario here, support, new move, the previous line which didn't let the price to break in upper direction also again acted as a resistance. We saw another price pullback here to the downside, and now the same line you can see which previously acted as a support is not letting the price of Bitcoin to break here in a upper direction. So right now, since we are already getting this rejection, we have to be careful, because this line is last line of support around this 30 to 31,000 area, because if this support here is to be broken, then expect price of Bitcoin again getting pulled back towards the lower line area of this descending broadening wedge. So that's why what we want at any cost the price of Bitcoin is to stay above this 30 to 31,000 support line and consolidate. And if that's going to happen, maybe we can see another opportunity, or also price trying to break here in an upper direction from this upper line of the descending broadening wedge scenario. So these are some of the scenarios I wanted to share with you in today's episode, guys. If you enjoyed my work, then please hit the like button, and for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye, guys.